Johnny Magic here at the EMJ Compounds. Today we're actually going to talk about something else other than diesels, which is normally what we talk about. We decided for the 2016 SEMA Show to bring a new product into the marketplace. This one's all about power and performance without sacrifice to fuel efficiency or emissions. It actually increases fuel efficiency, reduces emissions. And since SEMA is a place where you go to see the coolest cars, and all of them are pretty much older cars, performance cars at every kind of angle, we decided to build a 57 Pontiac Chieftain and install the e-charger technology on it. So right now we're kind of like in the middle of, well, we got about 30 days before this thing's got to be on a trailer and go to SEMA, and believe me, nobody has slept here, but we're in the middle of like reassembling our version of what the 57 Pontiac would look like in a more modern way without sacrificing the style of how that they used to build cars. I mean, back then, they took pride in everything that they built, and stuff was really cool. So some of the features on it obviously is, of course, it doesn't have trim. It's got rivets or bolts or stuff like that. The paint's flat, which is kind of a more modern feature. The dash and everything is staying the same, but more modern. It has the modern gauges in it and stuff like that. The radio that goes in the vehicle, that's not in there right now, but it's a digital radio. It has Bluetooth and all the creature comforts that people would expect out of a new car in an old car, but in a new way that looks old. So if you can figure that out, let me know. Underneath the hood, well, there's no hood. Actually, this car is hoodless, and it doesn't even have fender wells, but it will have fenders. And this behind me used to be in there a few days ago, but thanks to one of the technicians that said, oh, this motor will work with that transmission, well, it doesn't work and nobody can figure it out. So we're waiting for our new transplant, which will be a 5.7 with the I believe they call it the T56 6-speed transmission, very popular LS drivetrain that people typically put in older vehicles, which make it cool. And being a diesel person, I mean, that's like talking Chinese to me, but I'm trusting this other person now, and hopefully we get that resolved. But more importantly is the technology that really makes this thing work, and that's the e-charger. This is a brainchild of Johnathan Goodwin, a byproduct of a Neil Young build, when everybody was asking like, oh, well, you can do stuff for rich and famous people. What can you do for me to save me $1 in fuel economy? Well, this is it. But actually in this version, since it's SEMA, it's all about power. This electric motor here makes 150 foot-pounds of torque instantaneously on top of whatever that stock motor does. So you don't have to do anything to your existing motor or whatever. You can just bolt the system on there, and now you got an instant 150 horsepower. But one thing it doesn't do, like most performance products, is it doesn't decrease your fuel efficiency. So for example, if I went out there and bought a supercharger, yeah, I get an extra 100 horsepower, but all of a sudden, my fuel economy went into the dirt. My emissions are, bigger than 10 Priuses. And this has the opposite effect because it's actually electric. It runs on a battery pack. And the battery pack can be recharged at 75 cents equivalent gallon, which is way cheaper than any race fuel out there, which is $4 to $5 to $10 a gallon. So this electric motor here is now going to help this engine, add 150 foot-pounds of torque, and put a big smile on my face and be white-knuckled. And this is, like I said, the first part of the build. As we progress, I'm going to call this phase 1, but as we progress, we'll start shooting video, and we'll also start talking about more of the other features associated with it as we go forward. So I hope you guys follow on as we get ready to build what I consider the ultimate muscle car version out of an old car with new technology, but it's actually been around forever, for the 2016 SEMA Show. It's Johnny Magic, EMJ Compounds. We'll see you.